The fastest way to lose respect is not by failing. It is by revealing too much of your weakness in the wrong place, at the wrong time, in front of the wrong people. Most people do not destroy their dignity in one big mistake. They destroy it in public, one reaction at a time, one argument, one emotional outburst, one desperate need for attention, one careless word. And the dangerous part is this: the world may forgive you, but it will not forget how you made yourself look when you had no control. Before you step outside your door again, listen carefully, because the way you behave in public is not only seen by others, it is recorded by your own spirit. Every movement, every word, every reaction, every moment when you think nobody is watching becomes a mirror. And the dangerous thing is this: most people do not lose respect in one big mistake. They lose it slowly, in small moments. One careless sentence, one uncontrolled reaction, one loud display of ego, one moment of weakness shown to the wrong eyes. And then they wonder why life does not give them the respect, the peace, the authority, or the opportunities they desire. A person who has no control in public has not yet built control in private. The street reveals the training of the mind. The workplace reveals the discipline of the emotions. The crowd reveals the strength of the inner world. You can wear fine clothes, speak with confidence, post beautiful words, and still be defeated by one simple situation if your mind is not trained. This is why you must understand these 9 things you should never do in public, not because you are afraid of people, not because you want to impress anyone, but because your energy is sacred, your dignity is sacred, your focus is sacred. And what is sacred should not be thrown carelessly into the noise of the world. The first thing you should never do in public is argue to prove that you are right. Most people believe winning an argument makes them powerful. But observe carefully. The one who is shouting is usually the one who has already lost command of himself. The one who needs everyone to hear his point is often the one who is insecure inside. When you argue in public, even if your words are correct, your energy becomes poor. People may hear your logic, but they feel your lack of control. And in life, people do not only respond to what you say, they respond to the state from which you say it. There is a difference between speaking truth and fighting for attention. Truth does not need anger to stand. Truth does not need a raised voice to exist. Truth can be calm because truth does not tremble. When someone provokes you in public, they are not only testing your opinion, they are testing your discipline. They are asking without words, "Can I take you out of your center?" If you react immediately, you have answered yes. If you breathe, observe, and choose your words with precision, you show that your mind belongs to you. Many people will invite you into useless battles. They will use disrespect, they will use sarcasm, they will misunderstand you on purpose. They will speak in a way that awakens the fire in your chest. But the trained person understands something deep. Not every fire should be fed. Some fires exist only to burn your time, your peace, and your reputation. If you argue with every small mind that challenges you, soon your life becomes small too. When you are in public, remember that your silence can be stronger than your defense. A calm face can disturb an aggressive person more than 1,000 words. A soft voice can carry more weight than a loud one. And walking away can sometimes be the highest form of victory. Not because you are weak, but because you refuse to let another person decide the quality of your mind. The second thing you should never do in public is reveal your deepest pain to people who have not earned the right to hold it. This is very important. In moments of emotion, many people speak too much. They tell strangers about their wounds. They explain their family problems. their financial struggles, their heartbreak, their fear, their failures, their humiliation. They do this because the pain inside is heavy, and speaking feels like relief. But relief is not always healing. Sometimes relief becomes exposure. Your pain is not entertainment for the crowd. Your trauma is not a story for casual listeners. Your weakness is not a public performance. There are people who will listen with soft eyes and later use your words like a knife. There are people who will pretend to understand but secretly feel superior. There are people who will collect your vulnerability, not to protect you, but to control how others see you. This does not mean you should hide everything. A closed heart can become a prison. But wisdom is knowing where to open and where to remain still. Not every ear is a safe place. Not every smile is compassion. Not every question deserves your truth. In public, protect your inner world. Speak with dignity. Share only what is useful, what is appropriate, and what does not weaken your spirit afterward. There is a difference between authenticity and emotional leakage. Authenticity is when your words come from clarity. Emotional leakage is when your pain spills out because you have not learned to contain it. A bowl that cannot hold water cannot nourish anyone. A mind that cannot hold emotion cannot choose wisely. So train yourself. When sadness rises in public, breathe. When anger rises, breathe. When the desire to explain everything rises, breathe even deeper. You do not need to make your private storm visible to every person walking by. The third thing you should never do in public is disrespect people who serve you. Watch a person carefully when they speak to a waiter, a cleaner, a driver, a guard, a receptionist, a junior employee, a labor worker, someone with less money, someone with less status, someone who cannot benefit them. In those moments, the mask falls. Anyone can be polite to a powerful person. Anyone can smile when there is advantage. But true character appears when there is no reward for kindness. If you look down on people in public, you reveal that your inner foundation is poor. You may think you are showing superiority, but you are showing hunger. A person who needs to make others feel small has not yet found greatness within himself. The mountain does not insult the valley. The sun does not shout at the candle. Real strength does not need to humiliate. Every person you meet is carrying something you cannot see. The worker who brings your tea may be supporting a family. The guard standing outside may have slept only a few hours. The cleaner may have more discipline than the person sitting in the expensive chair. The young employee who makes a mistake may only need guidance, not public shame. When you embarrass someone in front of others, you create fear, not respect. Fear may obey you for a moment, but respect follows only those who carry power with humility. Never confuse position with worth. A title is temporary. A chair is temporary. Money is temporary. Beauty is temporary. Youth is temporary. But the way you treat people becomes part of your unseen legacy. You may forget the words you spoke, but the person you wounded may carry them for years. You may think nobody noticed, but public disrespect leaves a smell in the room. People remember how your energy made them feel. The fourth thing you should never do in public is chase attention like a starving person. Today, many people no longer experience life. They perform it. They do not eat. They show that they are eating. They do not travel. They prove that they traveled. They do not help. They record themselves helping. They do not feel peace. They display an image of peace. But the more a person chases attention, the further they move from presence. Attention is a dangerous food. It tastes sweet, but it does not nourish the soul. The moment you depend on the eyes of others, you become their prisoner. If they clap, you feel alive. If they ignore you, you feel invisible. If they praise you, you rise. If they criticize you, you collapse. This is not freedom. This is slavery decorated with applause. In public, do not make every moment about being seen. Do not speak louder, only to dominate the room. Do not exaggerate your achievements to impress people. Do not turn kindness into performance. Do not dress your insecurity as confidence. The person who is truly grounded does not need to occupy every space. He can sit quietly and still be felt. He can speak few words and still be heard. He can enter a room without demanding attention because his presence is not borrowed from the crowd. Ask yourself honestly, do I want to be seen or do I want to be real? These are not always the same. Many people are seen by millions and still known to themselves. Many people are praised by strangers and still lonely in silence. The path of inner strength is not to disappear, but to stop begging the world to confirm your existence. When you know who you are, attention becomes optional. When you do not know who you are, attention becomes addiction. The fifth thing you should never do in public is display uncontrolled anger. Anger is not always bad. Anger can be a signal. It can show where a boundary was crossed. It can awaken courage. It can protect what is valuable. But uncontrolled anger is like giving a sharp blade to a trembling hand. It may strike the enemy, but it will also cut the one who holds it. Many people believe anger shows strength. They slam doors, raise voices, insult others, throw objects, threaten, curse, and then say, "This is just how I am." No, this is not how you are. This is how you are when you have stopped training yourself. Do not make your lack of discipline into your identity. A wild horse has power, but without direction, it destroys the field. A trained horse can carry a warrior across mountains. When anger rises in public, the body changes. The breath becomes short, the face becomes tight, the hands want to move. The tongue becomes dangerous. In that moment, you must create space. One breath can save a relationship. One pause can save your reputation. One step back can prevent years of regret. People say things in 10 seconds of anger that take 10 years to repair. The trained mind does not suppress anger. It refines it. Suppression means you bury the fire and pretend it is not burning. Refinement means you use the heat to see clearly, speak firmly, and act wisely. When someone crosses a boundary, you do not need to explode. You can say, "This is not acceptable," with a calm voice. You can leave, you can report, you can decide, you can protect yourself, but you do not need to become the same energy that disturbed you. There is great power in remaining composed when the situation invites chaos. This does not mean you are passive. It means your action comes from your center, not from your wound. The strongest person in the room is not the one who can destroy everyone. It is the one who can destroy, but chooses precision over impulse. The sixth thing you should never do in public is complain constantly. Listen to the conversations around you. Many people spend their whole day feeding the mind with complaints. The weather is bad. The food is bad. The traffic is bad. The boss is bad. The salary is bad. The family is bad. The country is bad. The body is tired. The world is unfair. Every sentence becomes a stone, and soon they wonder why their spirit feels heavy. Complaint is a habit of attention. Whatever you complain about repeatedly becomes larger in your mind. This does not mean problems are not real. Problems are real. Injustice is real. Pain is real. But complaint without responsibility weakens the person speaking. It trains the mind to look for what is wrong before it sees what can be done. There are people who bond through negativity. They sit together and exchange dissatisfaction like food. For a moment they feel connected because shared bitterness can imitate friendship. But when they leave, their energy is lower, their courage is smaller, their vision is darker. Be careful who you complain with. Some conversations do not release poison, they multiply it. In public, speak with awareness. If there is a problem, name it clearly. If there is a solution, move toward it. If there is no immediate solution, preserve your energy. Do not throw your mental strength into every inconvenience. A small delay, a rude person, a difficult day, a mistake, a change of plan. These are not always disasters. Sometimes they are training. Life is asking, can you remain steady when conditions are not perfect? The one who complains less sees more. The one who sees more chooses better. The one who chooses better suffers less. And slowly, people begin to trust this kind of person. Why? Because they do not add noise to difficulty. They bring clarity. They bring steadiness. They bring the feeling that even if the storm is real, someone in the room still remembers the sky. The seventh thing you should never do in public is expose your arrogance. Arrogance can wear many faces. Sometimes it looks like interrupting others. Sometimes it looks like mocking someone's lack of knowledge. Sometimes it looks like speaking, as if you are the only intelligent person in the room. Sometimes it looks like refusing advice because your ego cannot bow. Sometimes it looks like pretending to be humble while secretly waiting for praise. The arrogant person is often not as strong as he appears. Arrogance is armor around insecurity. It is the loud costume worn by a frightened self. A person who truly knows his value does not need to inflate it. A person who truly has wisdom does not need to crush others with it. The deeper the tree is rooted, the less it needs to announce its strength. Never use knowledge to make people feel inferior. Knowledge should illuminate, not blind. If you know something, share it in a way that allows others to grow. If you are more experienced, guide. If you are more skilled, demonstrate. If you are more disciplined, inspire. But do not stand on another person's ignorance to make yourself taller. This is not greatness. This is spiritual poverty. In public, arrogance creates distance. People may smile, but they close their hearts. They may agree, but they stop trusting. They may obey, but they will not follow you with loyalty. The wise person knows when to speak and when to listen. Listening is not weakness. Listening is the art of gathering reality before responding to it. Many people do not listen. They wait for their turn to prove themselves. This is why their understanding remains shallow. If you want to become powerful, practice being teachable. Let a child remind you of wonder. Let a worker teach you patience. Let an old person teach you time. Let failure teach you humility. Let silence teach you depth. The world is always instructing the one who is not too proud to learn. The eighth thing you should never do in public is make promises you cannot keep. Words are not light things. Every promise is a thread between your inner world and the outer world. When you speak carelessly, you tear those threads. You may think people forget. They do not always forget. More importantly, your own mind does not forget. Every broken promise teaches your subconscious that your words have no weight. Some people promise because they want to be liked. They say yes when their soul is saying no. They agree to things they cannot do. They commit to timelines they cannot meet. They give emotional promises in moments of excitement and disappear when discipline is required. At first, this may look kind, but false agreement is not kindness. It is weakness wearing the mask of generosity in public. Be careful with your yes. A yes should have strength behind it. A yes should carry action. A yes should be something your future self can honor. And be honest with your no. A respectful no is better than a beautiful lie. People may be disappointed for a moment, but they will respect clarity more than deception. Your reputation is built by the distance between your words and your actions. If the distance is small, trust grows. If the distance is large, trust dies. You do not need to speak much to be respected. You need to mean what you speak. A person whose words are solid becomes rare in a world full of noise. There is a quiet confidence in saying, I cannot commit to that. There is maturity in saying, I will check and confirm. There is dignity in saying, I made a mistake. I cannot fulfill what I said. But there is weakness in pretending. There is weakness in making the mouth generous while the actions remain empty. The ninth thing you should never do in public is forget that your body speaks before your words. Many people focus only on speech, but the body is always speaking. Your posture speaks. Your eyes speak. Your hands speak. Your walk speaks. Your stillness speaks. The way you sit, the way you enter, the way you listen, the way you look at your phone while someone is talking, the way your face reacts when another person succeeds. Everything speaks. If your body is restless, people feel it. If your eyes are always searching for approval, people feel it. If your shoulders collapse, your spirit appears defeated. If your face carries contempt, people sense the poison even before you speak. The body reveals what the mouth tries to hide. This is why training is not only for muscles. Training is for presence. Stand as if your spine remembers dignity. Walk as if you are not running from yourself. Sit as if your mind is not scattered in 10 directions. Look at people as if they are human beings, not obstacles or tools. Put your phone down when someone is giving you their attention. Do not let your body say, you are not important, while your mouth says, I am listening. In public, your presence becomes your signature. Some people leave a room and the room feels lighter. Some people enter a room and everyone becomes tense. This is not magic. This is energy shaped by habit. Every day you are training others how to experience you. Are you training them to feel calm, respected, and clear? Or are you training them to feel judged, drained, and unsafe? The body becomes honest through awareness. Start with the breath. The breath is the bridge between the wild mind and the disciplined mind. When you are nervous, breathe lower. When you are angry, breathe slower. When you are distracted, breathe deeper. The breath returns you to yourself. And when you return to yourself, your body becomes less reactive and more rooted. Now listen carefully, because these 9 things are not separate. They are connected like roots beneath the ground. The person who argues to prove himself often also chases attention. The person who disrespects others often carries arrogance. The person who complains constantly often breaks promises to himself. The person who exposes pain to unsafe people often lacks inner containment. The person who displays anger often has not learned to hear the body before it explodes. So the real teaching is deeper than public behavior. Public behavior is only the surface. The true training is internal. Can you be provoked and not become poison? Can you be praised and not become addicted? Can you be ignored and not become desperate? Can you be misunderstood and not lose your center? Can you be challenged and still remain respectful? Can you carry pain without throwing it at innocent people? Can you hold power without humiliating the weak? Can you speak less and mean more? Most people want respect, but they do not want restraint. They want influence, but they do not want discipline. They want peace, but they feed every disturbance. They want success, but they waste energy proving themselves to people who are not walking their path. Understand this. The world does not need to know every thought you have. The world does not need access to every emotion. The world does not need a performance of your strength. Real strength can remain quiet and still be undeniable. When you are walking in public, imagine that every situation is a small temple of training. The person who cuts in front of you is training your patience. The rude comment is training your self-respect. The delay is training your breath. The success of another person is training your humility. The temptation to gossip is training your integrity. The chance to show off is training your maturity. The moment of anger is training your command. The moment of pain is training your wisdom. Nothing is wasted if you are awake, but everything is wasted if you live unconsciously. A person can spend 10 years repeating the same reactions and call it personality. But a personality built from unconscious reactions is a cage. You are not here to decorate the cage. You are here to become free. Freedom does not mean doing whatever impulse demands. That is not freedom. That is being ruled by every passing wave. Freedom means you can feel anger and choose patience. You can feel hurt and choose dignity. You can feel the desire to impress and choose simplicity. You can feel the urge to speak and choose silence. You can feel fear and still do what is correct. The crowd is powerful because it pulls people away from themselves. In a crowd, people become louder, weaker, more careless, more performative. They say things they would not say alone. They do things they would not do in stillness. They borrow courage from numbers and lose conscience in the noise. Do not become unconscious just because many people around you are unconscious. The trained person can stand in the marketplace with the same mind he has in meditation. This is not easy. This is why it is training. You must also understand that dignity is not stiffness. Some people think being disciplined means becoming cold, serious, and unreachable. No, a disciplined person can laugh. A disciplined person can be warm. A disciplined person can enjoy life deeply. But he does not lose himself in enjoyment. He does not become foolish because others are foolish. He does not sell his values for temporary acceptance. He can be kind without being weak. He can be humble without being small. He can be strong without being cruel. When you go into public, carry 3 things: awareness, restraint, and intention. Awareness asks, what is happening inside me right now? Restraint asks, what should not be expressed here? Intention asks, what kind of person do I choose to be in this moment? These 3 questions can protect you from many mistakes. Before you speak, ask, is this necessary or is my ego hungry? Before you react, ask, will this solve the situation or only release tension from my body? Before you share private pain, ask, has this person earned my trust or am I seeking quick relief? Before you complain, ask, am I naming a problem to solve it or am I strengthening helplessness? Before you promise, ask, can my actions carry this word? Before you judge someone lower than you in status, ask, what does my treatment of them reveal about me? Do not underestimate small public habits. Small habits become identity. Identity becomes destiny. A person who practices calm in small irritations